Now, to whom it may concern, you don't have to love Nigerians. You don't have to support Nigerians in any way. You don't even have to allow Nigerians into your country if they are not qualified to be in your country, because you owe Nigeria and Nigerians nothing, absolutely nothing really. But what you shouldn't do is deny history and the fact that Nigeria supported and came through for Black South Africans when it mattered the most. You'll be delusional if you deny it. With all this evidence before you, those are not my words. Those are the words of Julius Malema and the great Nelson Mandela. So, the founder of the Economic Freedom Fighters and South Africa opposition leader, Mr. Julius Malema, was in Nigeria recently as a special guest to attend the 2025 annual conference of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), held in Enugu State, southeast Nigeria. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for coming. My name is Osih-Oyelude. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Now, Mr. Malema's invitation to me was more or less a strategic one, coming at a time when the relationship between Nigeria and South Africa has been nothing to write home about. Now, citizens of both countries are always on each other's neck, practically dragging each other on social media at the slightest provocation. And quite frankly, it keeps getting worse by the day. Both citizens online seem not to care about this relationship that seems like it's been forced on them, because as long as they are dragging each other online, they are good, they are fine. If it's not both for both today, it is Chidinma tomorrow, or Nigeria is taking our jobs next tomorrow, or Nigerians are bringing drugs to our country, and on Nigerians' part, South Africans are xenophobic, South Africans don't like us. You see, it's been an endless cycle of drags between both countries, and it doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. Now, but you see, the older generation who understand, who know, and who appreciates the historic bond both countries once shared, or still share, if you may, don't miss any opportunity to re-emphasize that, especially for this generation who obviously are lost and bereft of the historic lessons that bind both countries together. But like I said, Nigerians, especially the ones online, don't care. So do South Africans, especially the ones online. But still, it has to be said regardless. Well, Mr. Julius Malema did not also let that opportunity to educate them once again to go by, as he gave his keynote address at the NBA conference, which drew top legal minds, politicians, thoughts and opinion leaders from across Nigeria. They all converged on Enugu. Now, here are my takeaways from his thought-provoking speech. Now, Mr. Malema made sure to respond first to those who, over the years, have questioned what Nigeria did for South Africa during the dark days of apartheid. This is my first takeaway. Listen.
I must reiterate once again that it is a deep honor to stand before you today in Nigeria, in Enugu State, a country that holds a special place in the hearts of all South Africans who understand history, who value solidarity, who appreciate the sacrifice made by others in the cause of our freedom. Nigeria is not just another African country to us. It is a comrade nation, one that stood firmly by our side during our darkest hour. When South Africa was shackled by apartheid, when our people were murdered, imprisoned, and denied basic humanity, Nigeria rose as a giant for justice, placing South Africa squarely at the center of its foreign policy. Former President Mohammed famously declared that Africa had come of age that the continent will no longer tolerate interference from outside powers, and this still rings true today. Nigeria set up the Southern African Relief Fund, mobilizing its citizens to contribute to the liberation struggle. Even as it faced its own challenges at home, these initiatives raised millions of dollars to support the liberation of South Africa. People paid directly from their salaries to contribute to the liberation of the people of South Africa. Nigerian students sacrificed a portion of their income through the Mandela Tax, which supported an educational training program for Black South Africans, and successive Nigerian governments never stopped in their material and moral support for South Africa's liberation. In fact, Nigerian government boycotted the 1976 Olympic Games and the 1979 Commonwealth Games in protest and in opposition to apartheid government. We cannot forget all those who stood by us during difficult times. Nor can we forget that when Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990, one of his earliest international visits was to Lagos and Abuja to personally thank the Nigerian people. This gesture are foundation of a bond sealed in blood and sacrifice.
Now, like I said, this is for those asking what Nigeria did for South Africa during apartheid. There you have it. Now, you see, it's your choice to believe it or not. The truth is only one, and thank God it's been told by South Africans who were there in time and witnessed this, and they are key actors in that struggle. So that's why I'm just glad they are the ones saying it. Now, it's not only Julius Malema that have said this. You also heard him mention the great Nelson Mandela. Now, you heard him say that Mandela visited Nigeria after his release from prison. Now, if these freedom fighters who were at the center of that struggle say this, why should we bother about the people who were just born yesterday that want to distort history? We should care less about that. Yes.
I have been in prison for 27 years. Many governments, many organizations, many individuals called for my release. Loudest in that call was the government and people of Nigeria. Here of the government and people of Nigeria. Nigeria has given us a lot of financial and material support. They have assisted us not only in the form of funds, and in that respect, they have been among the most generous donors to our coffers.
Now that was Nelson Mandela's thank you visit to Nigeria for Nigerian support to their struggle at that time. Now, just take a look at how genuinely happy Nigerians were for them at that time. How times have really changed. Now, if you even look behind, you can see his wife, Winnie Mandela, behind him. She accompanied him to Nigeria. Just so beautiful to see. Now, to whom it may concern, you don't have to love Nigerians. You don't have to support Nigerians in any way. You don't even have to allow Nigerians into your country if they are not qualified to be in your country, because you owe Nigeria and Nigerians nothing, absolutely nothing really. But what you shouldn't do is deny history and the fact that Nigeria supported and came through for Black South Africans when it mattered the most. You'll be delusional if you deny it. With all this evidence before you, those are not my words. Those are the words of Julius Malema and the great Nelson Mandela. You see, I've come to the realization that maybe, just maybe, there is no need for us to keep re-emphasizing for those who are living in denial, because it's just going to be a case of trying to wake someone who is pretending to be asleep. That person will not wake up. You know that, right? Ponder on that line. That person will not wake up. Now, that said, here is my second takeaway from Julius Malema's speech, calling for a more robust and stronger economic collaboration between South Africa and Nigeria.
This history must not remain in the past. This bond between South Africa and Nigeria must be carried forward into the present, not just in political sentiment, but in concrete economic collaboration. Both our nations stand as giants of the continent. South Africa, with its industrial base, mining capacity, and advanced financial system. Nigeria, with its vast population, vibrant entrepreneurial spirit, oil and gas resources, and cultural dynamism that has captured the imagination of the world. Together, we hold the keys to Africa's industrialization and economic independence. Consider what lies beneath our soils. Nigeria is blessed with abundant oil, natural gas, and growing agricultural sector. South Africa holds some of the richest deposits of platinum, gold, manganese, and coal in the world. Combined, we possess the minerals that power modern technology, the energy resources that fuel global industry, and the human capital to build a self-sufficient continent. Yet, both our nation remains trapped in neo-colonial arrangements where our raw materials are extracted cheaply and exported to Europe, America, and Asia, only to be sold back to us at crazy prices as finished goods. This is a cycle of dependency we must break.
A good call there, right? And to be honest, I think it is already happening though. I mean, both countries doing business together, I think it's happening. You see, it's really the jobless ones online that are dragging each other really. Because the serious-minded ones are offline doing business and being friends. And the loud-mouthed ones are online not minding their business. If that is the path you've chosen to be through, not to mind your business, good for you. But Julius Malema has a suggestion for you though, a better way forward. And that is if you would listen. I'm talking to the trolls from both countries. Both countries. Well, this is my third takeaway from the speech, on the way forward.
The path forward is clear. Nigeria and South Africa must industrialize together, build factories together, and process our resources on African soil. Imagine a joint program where South African mining expertise is combined with Nigerian oil wealth to create African-owned energy and resources conglomerate, one that refines, processes, and manufactures for Africa and the world. Imagine agricultural cooperation where Nigeria fertile lands provide food security for the continent, supported by South African machinery, logistics, and technology. Imagine a collaborative investment in renewable energy, where South Africa's solar potential and Nigeria gas reserves are harnessed to build an integrated African power grid. Already, we have glimpses of what is possible. South African companies such as MTN, Spar, Shoprite and MultiChoice have made significant inroads in Nigeria, creating jobs and bringing services. Nigerian businesses, investors and cultural industries have equally expanded to South Africa. Nigerian music, filmmakers, writers influence South African culture, just as South African universities and industries provide platforms for Nigerian talent. But this cooperation has been uneven and at times marked by suspicion and the painful experience of xenophobia. Let me be unequivocal here. Xenophobia is a betrayal of African unity. It is a sickness born of poverty, inequality, and government failure. But its victims are our African brothers and sisters. Nigerians, Zimbabweans, Congolese, and Somalis are not the cause of the South Africa's unemployment crisis. The cause lies in the untransformed economy of South Africa, which remains in the hands of white minority and multinational corporations who continue to exploit labor while refusing to industrialize.
You see, this is his suggestion. You really don't have to agree. Oh yes, you really don't have to. But I strongly advise you take this suggestion because it will put money in your pockets and, save you that time that you'll be wasting online trolling. I'm talking about citizens of both countries. Anyway, this is my fourth and final takeaway from Mr. Malema's speech.
Attacking fellow Africans diverts anger from the real enemy, and we must educate our people that unity, not division, is the solution to the African crisis. If we want to end one-way migration, where Nigerians are forced to leave home in search of opportunity in South Africa, we must integrate our economies. Young Nigerian engineers should be able to work in Johannesburg, Gaborone, Windhoek, Harare, Cairo, and Accra, not as foreigners, but as Africans contributing to Africa. South African entrepreneurs should be able to set up in Lagos without suspicion, but with support as partner in the shared future. We must harmonize trade policies, align visa regimes, and build continental infrastructure that connects our people. We actually do not need a visa. We don't need a visa between South Africa and Nigeria. In the same way, we don't need a visa for our people to travel in their own continent. We are one. Both South Africa and Nigeria know the pain of colonialism. Both have faced internal divisions. Both have endured the pressures of global imperialism that seeks to divide and exploit and control us. Both know that the only path forward is Pan-African solidarity. We must reject the illusion that our salvation will come from Washington, London, Brussels, or Beijing. Our salvation lies here in Lagos and Johannesburg, in Abuja and Pretoria, in the hands of Africans who refuse to be divided. Together, Nigeria and South Africa can lead African continent free trade area not as a paper agreement, but as a living reality that changes the lives of ordinary people. Together, we can demand fair trade, protect our industries, and invest in education, technology, innovation. Together, we can prove that Africa is not a begging bowl, but a continent of giants. We must prove to the whole world that we are not xenophobic, we love one another. Black people are not loved in Africa and are not loved outside Africa. We have a duty to love ourselves and show the whole world on how it must treat us. We cannot treat each other badly and expect other people to treat us much better. How you treat your own brother and your own sister, it's how you teach others outside how they must treat you. The unity of our continent is paramount, and we must never associate with any xenophobic agenda that perpetuates the divisions in South Africa. Solidarity is what we need.
You know why I'm laughing? Because I know a lot of South Africans won't like this speech. As a matter of fact, they don't like the speech because I've seen a lot of comments on different channels. So many funny comments. So many. Anyway, I guess because to them, they are the ones accommodating. They are the ones bearing the burden of migration in Africa, not the other way around, not Nigeria. That's why you see some of them say, foreigners leave our country, Nigerians go back to your country. It's okay, it's all good. It's your country. You know how the presence of foreigners is affecting you people. But I hope the foreigners here are not just the black people. You see, I hope they're not. Anyway, things may be rough economically in Nigeria at the moment, but don't worry. I can assure you that Nigerians will leave your country someday. They will. They will. Definitely will leave your country one day. Nigeria was not like this before. We were the largest economy at some point, but we get back there. Slowly, but surely, we'll get back there. We don't have to live in each other's country to do business, and that's the truth. But you see this call for unity for these two countries by Julius Malema, it's going to be hard. Yes, so many waters have passed under the bridge. But you see, what I do know is that we really don't have to love or like each other, really, if we can't. The Nigerian in us can tolerate and do business with anyone, even our worst enemies, because we stand on business. We don't mix, business with pleasure and enemies, right? We don't do that. We stand on business. So we really don't have to be friends. We really don't have to love each other. We really don't have to like each other. We can tolerate. I mean, yeah, that's what, if there is no way we can meet somewhere, let's just keep it the way it is. But I think those ones who are online trolling, I'm talking about citizens of both countries, should tone it down. Tone it down. Look for something else to do, not today, like just tone it down, okay? Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think? Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. 1, 2, 3. I know that a lot of people will come with missiles and everything. I am ready. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I see you again in my next video. Bye-bye.